And we were really bowled over by some of our entities where an incoming municipal manager, for instance, would take his entire leadership team on a transformation journey and process to map out what are the ideals of this municipality, what are the policies, what are the principles that we adhere to, and assigning responsibility at key levels within management, making employment equity and transformation a standing item in meetings. So it comes down to leadership, and it comes to down to workplace ethos.
At what pace do we have to move as a society then to meet these international standards, say at about 13 as we stand now?
We're failing international standards and regional standards. We were signatory to the SADC Gender and Development Protocol that said by 2015, which is this year, we should have 50-50 in women in all positions of leadership. We've not met that target. We're close when it comes to women's political representation. And when we were engaging with municipalities, and we know from our parliamentary figures that we're seeing close on 50% women's representation in political tiers. But when it comes to the bureaucratic component, that's where we're lagging in terms of women's employment and positions at top and senior management. That needs to be fast-tracked. So there we're looking at recruitment, we're looking at appointment processes, we're looking at mentoring, and we're looking at leadership development. But another key issue that is not being addressed is sexual harassment in the workplace, and that's a key stumbling block for women's advancement in the workplace as well.
In any given capitalist arrangement and capitalist society, it must be a difficult situation having to pursue programs where women have to be represented in private companies. What is your relationship like with these companies, and how are they addressing, separating them from the public sector?
Okay. The private sector has not been faring as well as the public sector in terms of transformation. There we've seen, in the public sector, we're seeing figures around 30% of women's representation in senior management. In the private sector, it dips quite considerably, and there we're sitting at between 15 and 20% representation. But conversely, in some private sectors, we've seen real investment. I think there's a realization that transformation and diversity management is a capital project. It is a business management.
So taking this forward, how do you plan to deal with these who will not be complying in the near future? The ones that you've called for supplementary hearings?
What we've done is we've outlined and set before them a set of our recommendations. Some have requested that we come on board and walk with them, and that is one of our functions. So we are assisting some entities deal with the review of their sexual harassment policy.
Now, in other news, the death toll from